The recording started off with Spidey's main outline. I tried to capture his physique, and I guess it worked. I drew him in a position where he was sort of just hanging off the building. Afterwards, I got started on the costume design, making sure to draw the main lines first. I drew the eyes to be kinda wide and then the recognizable spider symbol. Then I went back over the eyes area and added a thicker black outline around them. I then went back to the arms and gave them more space so you could see his hand sticking to the building. After some minor adjustments, I moved on to coloring. Okay, so I decided to go with the darker shade of red and blue, as I didn't want it to be too bright. Then I began drawing his costume pattern, which was honestly not easy. After I finished with the pattern, I began to add some background, because I always do that. So I drew Spider-Man holding onto a building, and then I drew a bunch of other buildings in the background. With all that out of the way, I moved on to shading. I tried to get it as realistic as possible, choosing a more darker shade than the first one, filling out the left side of his body. I think I may have messed up a bit in the arm area though. Afterwards, I moved on to the pants, then the boots. Then, I went over all my shading with the blender to make it look more natural. I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I went back to the pants and gave them some white blending to simulate shade lighting. I then did this for the side, well actually his right side. With the main body done, I moved back to the background and added the sun using a glow effect. I then drew a bunch of clouds and blended over these. I saw that the buildings were incredibly lacking, so I decided to give a dirty brown color to the first one. Afterwards, I added a window and some Spider-Man's shadow on it. I then moved on to the next building, adding a lighter brown to it and drew windows. God, I hate drawing windows. The next building was made to look like an office building. I gave it the gray glassy color and added the glinting effect. I finished off my last two buildings by coloring them as silhouettes in the sky. With that, the drawing was finished.